Hi everyone. Today is Sunday, May 1st, and I wanted to say good morning from the global economic north. Today's video is, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in to my channel. This particular and I wanted to say greetings to the new viewers. This particular video is going to be for black women out there, the sisters. And I have a question. I was thinking about this, and this is the thing, is I would like to know, what sources do you rely on to inform yourself about healthy, nurturing, healthy masculinity in baby boys? And I was thinking about this because I'm also going to share more about my personal life. And I feel that's really important because the YouTube community has been really, really good to me to offer and extend that friendship to, excuse me, also amongst strangers, you know, share personal things to try and understand like different contexts, as well as to understand that through the power of social media, so socializing through the internet, you can begin to realize that you're never alone. So I love social media, and you know, just the different ways that I can also speak and process, for example, different grievances related to judiciary concerns. And what's really interesting about that is it's so funny, like, well, actually it's not funny, but what's really sad is that the mechanisms that you should be able to go to in person, they work against you as a black person, and then, you know, they do all their stuff, they get their compensation, and you're left wondering, okay, what's going on, right? So I actually started using social media about, I don't know, about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, to start adjudicating certain grievances. And I tell you, they get on the issue right away. And I think that's really sad, because why are people getting paid to do whatever kind of work that they're doing? So I'm going to pick that up in another video, just the power of social media, and you know, how to actually engage more with the YouTube community in talking about these grievances, and seeing if we can get maybe somebody from, I don't know, I'm just putting it out there, but maybe someone in the Congo, or someone in the Netherlands, or I don't know, somewhere in like Tahiti, you know, or even Cambodia, you know, just going outside our bubble and seeing, okay, let's see what they're doing in Cambodia. What about the blacks in Cambodia? Like, what's going on there? Or, you know, Colombia, or, you know, I don't know, somewhere in the Arctic, Greenland, for example. So, yeah, this video is just to ask the sisters out there, what do you refer to when you're trying to understand how to nurture healthy masculinity in a baby boy? I have a grandson, and my preference for my child would have been to, you know, keep your legs closed, go to school, get your education, and know that you're not a little white girl, but, you know, you're a black woman, and, you know, you have a really nice something like this. And I'm not sure how to put it in like English terms. I'm actually working on my Japanese and my Spanish, but my particular child, she has this really beautiful way of flowering ideas, and she's very, very good with like, you know, incubating little projects. The problem is that she is in an environment where she is being socialized to internalize the supremacy of whiteness, and she doesn't understand this at this moment because they don't teach about this in the Canada nation-state education system. So have a little grandson, and you know, I was thinking about some things, like some creative things around, you know, how can I also be a part of nurturing positive black self-esteem, and also, you know, being there to love him in the way where I can also show him that, you know what, your black self is number one. So what kind of resources do you actually, for example, consult with? I have a few books from Bell Hooks, and I know she has one talks about black men and, for example, self-esteem. And there's another one I think she has, and it talks about black masculinity. So I'm going to read those books, and what I did was I ordered all of her books. So I just got a shipment in, and I'm going to go through all of her texts because I love the way she engages with, you know, that critical discourse around black empowerment, and, you know, looking at sort of the things, the externals that denigrate our ability to self-empower, I guess is the right word. But also, she looks at like solutions, and she encourages us to, you know, not only, you know, bitch about the situation, but talk about what is happening first. Talk about it in a way that works for you, and then, you know, from that, figure out some solutions. So to the sisters out there, if you could please share what resources you rely on. I know some sisters are going to say, oh, read your Bible and stuff like that, but actually Bible stuff is not effective. And I can definitely go into that because, for example, in the family that I grew up in, you know, the Bible was whipped into us. And it was done really differently. Like now I understand a little bit about like gender issues and stuff, and sort of like this patriarchy madness. And yeah, like I was whipped. I was whipped into reading my Bible and attending these stupid prayer meetings and just watching, like these church people come into our home and invade our home and invade our nest and talk about things in the name of this Jesus Christ thing. I was just like, as a little girl, I was like, you know what, these people are really fucked up. And, you know, I stole the Bible and I read it as a little girl, and I said to myself, what kind of crap is this, really? So, we were never given an option. The Bible was beaten into us. And when I finally broke away from that colonization, residue, violences, I did study in university something called women's studies, and within that discipline, I went into like feminist economics, I went into feminist epistemologies, And I looked at a little bit around labor studies, but I was interested in feminist economics. And then there was a piece about spirituality, and I took this course, and it was really good. It was about how to use feminism to read representations of women in, I think we looked at 5 major religions. And I was just really disgusted, really, really disgusted by what I learned. And the really nice thing about that course was that it shows you just some really messed up things like this patriarchy culture did to, for example, light women on fire if they were like celebrating the moons and the stars and the sun and, you know, doing their nature dances, which were really beautiful. But it also showed ways and techniques for us to develop our own spirituality as women and really attack this thing called religion, especially patriarchal religion. It's just ridiculous. And it's very violent, and it's really hateful against women. And the way it was presented was a context to show what happened to white women. Then, of course, I'm not a white woman. I was like, what the fuck did they do to black women? If they did that to white women, what happened to the black women? So the black witches, why, you know, were they burnt or were they lynched first then set on fire, right? Yeah. So if you have any sources to share, I would be interested in it. And just send me a link. I'm going to read my comments, or you can fire me an email to goosecanada@gmail.com. Now, I understand that maybe, you know, when people are watching the YouTube stuff, they just leave their comments right away. Like, I have to be cognizant of that convenience, because it may be inconvenient, to watch the video, then log into the email, then put it in the database, and then send it off. So I'll also read the comments and just go through the dialogue there. So whatever works for you. I'd really appreciate to know, sisters, what do you refer to? And take it from there. So on that note, wanted to say thank you for tuning into my video, and please do leave your questions and your comments. I have to do a better job of responding and engaging more with what people are saying, and then uploading more video responses in relation to what people are engaging with now. So thank you. I was just looking at my outline here. Thank you. And just to let you know some of the technical things, I'm working with a camera. It's called Fujifilm. Just a little small one, like the size of my hand. And it's a Fujifilm finepix J10, and it's 8.2 megapixels. Like, I don't know what that stuff really means, but it's a nice little camera, and I've got a little mini tripod, and this here is actually 2 flat sheets. On the other side is black, and this side is white, and I sewed them together, hand sewed them together to create like a background, and didn't cost me much. Cost me what, like about $15, so about $7.50 for each sheet, and it's cotton. I also want to make my stuff very eco-chic, so this, for instance, you know, has to be certified 100% organic, as well as fair traded, and also fair economic sharing. So it's one thing to trade a lot of things, but it's another thing to do fair sharing. So economic sharing. So yeah, so I just created that, and I don't know, I have like a home studio. So some people have been asking me like, does it cost you a lot of money to use a studio and all this stuff? Actually, no. I just made my own, and I want to do like one with an encasing, I think, and I want to try lights and without lights, and one that kind of opens up. You know, I don't want to build this myself. Like I don't want like an engineer coming in and saying, okay, we can do this and we can do this, and you know what, let me just do it myself first, and if it's a complete disaster, then I'll consult with sort of studio engineers. So, and feminists, from a USA Black perspective, feminist engineers. So, yeah, so on some other technical things, I just actually wrote an outline, and I'm not reading from a script. I'm not regurgitating or, you know, re-saying what somebody else has said for me to say. I use something called freeform. I made up that term, freeform, and it's just where you just speak freely. And, you know, work on your cadence and stuff like that. So, on that note, oh, and I have no makeup on. Actually, I was really thinking about the whole makeup thing, and somebody was making fun of my eyes because I guess they look like raccoon eyes and really dark here. But the interesting thing is that when I look at myself, I don't have the dark circles. So I don't know if there's something in the lens that is actually projecting this way, this something about my face, so, and my eyes. I just want to go for a 100% natural presentation, and no makeup, no concealer, no nothing. So when I do my ethical video commentaries, so if I'm speaking from a position to encourage like a nature first practice, then how can I say nature first when I'm not natural first, right? 100% natural first. So yeah, so if you can share some of your sources, that would be wonderful. And if I decide to pick up on what you've shared, I will definitely acknowledge the source. I always do. I don't do this plagiarism criminal stuff. And I will get back to you. Thank you again for watching, and thank you to the new viewers for watching. And have yourself a really nice day today, wherever you are in the world. And, you know, happy new month. Take care. Bye.